Well, NATO leaders have agreed to raise defence spending to 5% by 2035. US President Donald Trump says the development is a monumental win for him and a big win for Western civilisation. The president has now left the summit in the Netherlands, claiming his views of the alliance are now a little bit different. Deborah Haynes filed this report from the Netherlands.
This is an alliance of 32 member states, but really it was down to one man when it came to the NATO summit today and yesterday, with all the other allies sort of bending over to praise him and to fawn after him. You had, in particular, the NATO Secretary General, who he sent that sort of gushing text message yesterday that Donald Trump then posted on social media, in which he praised the US president for rallying the allies to increase their defence spending. Why has he managed to do that? How has he managed to do that? It's because he has threatened very openly that the US would not. Why would the US defend an ally that, in his words, isn't paying their way? When Donald Trump was first president, he berated his NATO partners when they were trying to hit a previous 2% target of GDP for defence spending, with many allies not even reaching that mark. That made the president very cross. The allies did redouble efforts to spend more. Donald Trump saying he's going to have words with Spain in particular. But I asked the US president about the approach that he's had from his allies, like the head of NATO, and whether it means that actually Europe might be able to go it alone in the future, and would the US always have to be there to protect them? This is the exchange.
Mark Rutte, the NATO chief, who is your friend, he called you daddy earlier. Do you regard your NATO allies as kind of children?
No, he likes me. I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? No? He did it very affectionate. Daddy, you're my daddy.
Do you regard your NATO allies, though, as kind of like children, and they're obviously listening to you and they're spending more, and you're obviously appreciative of that, but do you hope that actually they're going to be able to defend themselves, defend Europe on their own?
I think they need help a little bit at the beginning, and I think they'll be able to, and I think they're going to remember this day. And this was a big day for NATO. You know, this was a very big day. They took it. One of the gentlemen said, you know what? We've been trying to raise money raise the rate for 30 years, he said, 20 years, from almost the beginning. And he's been there for a long time. He said, until you came along, it never happened. What you did is amazing. It's been sort of an amazing day for a lot of reasons, but also for that. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think they can do it without you, though, in the future? Can they do it without
Well, ask Mark.
States?
I mean, you have to ask Mark, okay?
Yes, so Donald Trump obviously still is trying to get to negotiate, to broker a ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia. That's something that's eluded him. He was wanting really to focus a lot on Iran and Israel, and what he says is the successes he's had there in ending that war and going after the nuclear program. But he obviously spoke to Volodymyr Zelensky. He also was spoken to by a Ukrainian journalist in that press conference, who actually maybe had even more of an impact and got the president to say that he was going to be looking at maybe selling air defence systems to Ukraine, which is something they desperately need. But you really got a sense from this summit that Ukraine was much more on the sidelines than it has been previously, and that communique at the end of the summit did not criticise or condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine, wording that was always front and centre of communiques previously, but not right now.